Hey folks, and welcome to Greg's Golf Shack. When we're out on the golf course and we're trying to shoot some good scores, should we use a line on our golf ball to help align our putts and hopefully help the ball go in the hole? Now I'm going to share with you my perspective, what I like to do, and hopefully it'll help you make better decisions for you out on the course. Before we dive in, please subscribe to this channel. I'm a certified instructor with the Canadian Golf Teachers Federation. Got lots of great golf tips and some entertaining content, and you can also follow me on social media at Greg's Golf Shack. All right, we're gonna shoot this putting tip indoors today. Here in Newfoundland, it's minus 19 degrees, really windy, and the green conditions in the backyard aren't really conducive to good putting. Now, there are a lot of different preferences out there, and the key is to find what works for you, what gives you confidence when you're putting. Personally, I do not like to use a line when I'm out on the course. I just find it throws me off my speed, my alignment. It's kind of odd because we use that line for alignment, but it throws me off. Now, I do like to use a line on the ball to practice a few putts. Without a specific target in mind, just a general direction, I'll use the line to make sure I have a square club face and a square path. Now, I've got a great video about practicing with a line on the ball. It's actually my first YouTube video I put on this channel, and you can check that out for how to practice with a line on your ball. Now we're out on the course. We're lining up our putt. Could be a birdie putt, could be a par putt. Maybe we're trying to save a bogey. And we're looking at the hole. We take the line on our ball. We try to line it up perfect where we want to aim. And we feel like that should give us confidence. That should tell us everything we need to know to get this ball in the hole. Sometimes we'll come up to it, we'll line everything up nice and square, and all of a sudden, that line does not look like it's pointing where we want it to. And we can start to lose confidence, and even subconsciously, we can start manipulating our hands through impact, sending the ball off in a different direction. It's hard to trust that line on the ball if we don't feel comfortable with it. And that can happen for many reasons. We all have different putting stances and setups and things, and that line can look a little bit weird. Now, it can be difficult to try to align the line on the ball and the line on the putter. It can feel a little uncomfortable because even when we have an arcing stroke, there's a good chance our putter might even be on a little bit of an angle just before impact there, as the putter is squaring as it hits the ball. And once we've lined the ball up to the hole, once we take our stance, we all have different stances over the ball, and where our eyes are in relation to the ball, it could look like it's sitting on an angle. That can make it really uncomfortable, whether it's leaning one way or leaning the other way. And this can cause us to kind of hit the ball or swing on an awkward path to try to align that. And we lose confidence with where that line is pointed, and it makes it difficult to hit a nice putt to the target. Now, the reason I don't like using a line on the ball, even if I know it's pointing at my intended target, is it makes me focus too much attention on the ball itself. And I end up swinging the putter at the ball rather than through to the target. So the first thing that this causes is a little bit of a discrepancy in how much speed or pace I'm anticipating in my putt. When we are lining up a putt, maybe we pace it off, whatever method we have to kind of measure the pace of the putt. I can have that all in my mind and feel like I've got a practice swing that's going to swing so far to get me there. And as soon as I set up and I'm looking at that line, I'm looking at the ball, I'm focused on just hitting the ball, I lose all track of how much pace I had intended to hit. Now, another issue that comes up when we're focused on the ball and we're swinging at the ball rather than through the ball towards the target is it can cause us to pull the ball. Now, many of us do that, especially on short putts. And when we're focused on hitting at the ball, we really kind of lose some of that natural arc of a putting stroke. Even those of us who have a straight back, straight through putt, it is still slightly arced. There's going to be a little bit of an arc. And if my target is the ball, it's very easy for me to let the arc stop before the ball and pull across it. Now, this same concept applies to your full swing. We often hear, let the ball get in the way of your swing. And the desired swing path for most of us is inside out. Now, even if that inside out creates a neutral path at impact, that's what we would like to get it more towards the target. But when we swing at the ball, even with a driver or an iron, it's very easy for us to have that classic over the top because our swing path is only intended to get to the ball. And then it kind of stops and just our release is just what happens after the ball. But a good golf strike goes through the ball. Now, some folks feel that using the line on short putts feels better to get it into the hole. And for some people, this can work. But I still think the same applies, that it can be common for many of us amateur golfers to pull that golf ball if we're swinging at the line on the ball. Now, some of those putts might drop because if it's a short putt, you have a little bit of leeway of missing your line and still have the ball drop in the hole. So when I putt, I usually find the blank spot in the ball. So I'm looking at a white ball. I like to avoid any logo, any kind of line for both short putts and long putts. And even though I still get behind my ball to try and read the break and pick a spot out on the green that I want to send my ball out towards, when I come up to the ball, which is a blank canvas, I can use the line on my putter from this point, from my putting stance, to aim my putter at that spot that I want to hit to. That's my target. That's where I want to swing my putter towards. And the ball is not giving me any sort of information to tell me otherwise. So I'm confident that my putter is going to swing to that target. The ball is just going to get in the way of my swing, and I can have a very nice, confident putt. And a lot of us might think, well, the golf pros always use their line, but remember, these are pros. This is their job. They're practicing putts constantly, especially even short putts. So they have really developed that feel of pace and tempo and all these elements in their swing that helps them get the ball to the hole. So when they're using a line and aligning it to point in the direction they want to swing, they're not as easily distracted by swinging at the ball. They know what the feeling is to continue swinging through to the target. It's a little tougher for us amateur golfers who don't have all that practice and feel. Now, if you're struggling with putting and you try to do what the pros are doing with the line on the ball and it's still not working, maybe you want to give this a try. Just having the blank side of the ball up, trust the line on your putter, trust the feeling you have for your own alignment and setup, and see if it helps. It's individual for each of us, so we're all going to find different ways to get the ball in the hole that works for us. But I wanted to offer you my perspective, what works for me, and maybe you can learn something from it. If you're enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, follow me on my socials, and we'll see you next time on Greg's Golf Shack.